Good morning and happy September. I don't know how this happened, but it's September already. Like, oh my goodness. I'm Sherry Andrews, and this is Let's Talk Legal. Every Tuesday morning at 10, I'll be bringing you a new topic that helps take the mystery out of all things legal. It's bite sized education for your business because an educated business owner makes better decisions. So last week we talked about document retention and we talked about the types of documents you need to retain, how long, the type of documents you should be getting rid of, and the reasons for doing that. And this week I'd like to dive more specifically into one particular type of document, email. Now, why is that? So, excuse me, phone's ringing, can't help that one. So, why is it that you should be concerned about email? It's the single most problematic area when it comes to document retention and destruction. Why? One, because we don't routinely make a habit of deleting email and cleaning out those folders and just getting rid of things that we no longer need. And two, because we tend to be so much more informal with email. And also in this category is text messages and instant messenger and every other like electronic messaging system all kind of falls into this category where we tend to be willing to say things and put things in writing that we would not put into a formal letter if we were sending something on letterhead from an office. And this is exactly why litigators love email. This is the first thing they're going to ask for in a lawsuit when they start discovery. They are going to want all of your email because that is where they are most likely to find the smoking gun. What do I mean, smoking gun? I mean that one piece of evidence that is going to prove their case for them because you haven't cleaned up your email and you don't know what's in there. And there's that one email that when you read it wrong can be misconstrued and sound like something they're trying to say happened or didn't happen. And unfortunately, case law bears out that email tends to be a sticking point and has won and lost companies hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. So one of the issues with, or actually the main issue with email is cost. So once you start discovery, you're going to have to deal with producing all this email. Now, 8 years ago, when I was creating a document retention program for the company I was working for, so back in 2012, the estimate that I found at that time was $5 per email for discovery cost. And 70% of that cost is having an attorney review your email for relevance and privilege. A relevance piece of it is it responsive to the request that's being made in the discovery? If not, you don't have to produce it. But if it is, then you want to look at privilege. Is there a reason to keep the email from being disclosed? For example, is there an attorney-client privilege? Is there trade secret information in it? Or other things that could keep it from being disclosed. And that attorney time is expensive. Now, since 2012, AI has helped with some of the initial review of email so that you can actually have machine learning go through and wipe out some of the more irrelevant ones. But it still leaves an attorney to review the rest of the email for legal relevance and for privilege. So nowadays, you can get a team of attorneys who just basically do e-discovery. And often they have paralegals, and you can get people working on this for say $150 to $250 an hour. And they're well versed in this, so they can review roughly one email per minute. Well, so let's just take the lower side of that. If you've got somebody charging you $150 an hour to review email and they can get through one email a minute, that's 60 emails in an hour. Do the math, that's 250 per email. Now, That's fine if you're like me and you're just starting and, you've got only emails dating back to March. And I looked this morning, I have 230 emails sitting in my inbox on my business laptop. And I tend to delete fairly frequently. So 250 emails at or 230 emails at 250 per email, that's $575 it would cost me just to have an attorney review those to see if they're relevant or privileged. Now, think about how many emails are in your inbox. And, if you're listening live, if you're coming here on replay, I would love you to drop in the comments the number of emails you think that you have sitting in your inbox. So I like using round numbers. Let's say it's 1,000. Well, then it's going to cost you $2,500 just to have an attorney review those emails. What if it's 10,000? Okay, now you're up to $25,000. You can see that these numbers can climb very quickly. So it is something to be concerned about. And if you start having employees or team members that you're sharing emails with, and then you've got the same copy of an email on your computer and on their computer, the numbers start, exploding exponentially. So, then there's also the opportunity cost. The time that you spend gathering and producing these emails is time taken away from your business and from your income producing activities. So, what I'm going to do right now is give you quickly 8 short, sweet tips on how to reduce the amount of email you retain. Number one, unsubscribe. Every email list that you get on is more email in your inbox that's junk that has to be weeded out in a discovery request. So, if you're on a list that you don't want to be on that doesn't provide value for you, unsubscribe. Number two, treat every email as a public document. Imagine that your grandmother's going to read it. Or, if your grandmother's a feisty old lady and you're not worried about embarrassing her, imagine that it's going to be read in court in front of all the jurors and witnesses. Because, yes, it happens. So don't say anything in an email that you wouldn't want published on the front page of a newspaper. Number three, limit your audience. We all have a nasty habit of hitting reply all. Stop and think before you do that. Does everybody who's on this email thread need to hear your answer? Or is your answer really directed to one person and your reply should just be to them? Because the more people you reply to, the more email you're spreading out in the world, and the more, at this point, other people have to worry about how much email is coming into their inbox. But if you set this up as a policy, um, so that your email going out only goes to the people who really need to see it, then you can convince other people to only send email coming in to you if you actually need to see it. Um, Number three, keep your email, or we're up to number four. Keep your email short and sweet. If it takes more than 4 or 5 sentences max to make your point, it probably shouldn't be an email. It probably should be picking up the phone or walking down the hall if you're in an office to talk to your coworker. Number five, step away from the computer. This goes back to number four. If the email is something that's too long to get your point across, or if there's anything sensitive that really shouldn't be in an email, step away from your computer. Pick up the phone and call the person, walk down the hall to their office and talk to them there, but don't put it in an email. Number six, send links, not attachments. So let's say you're sending a contract to another party. Um, it's just as easy, particularly if it's intra office, to send a link to where it lives on the company hard drive um, as it is to send the document itself. But outside of, internal email, if you're sending this to somebody else, Put it in a Dropbox and send them the link to the Dropbox. That way you don't have business records living in your email, which was actually point 7. Don't let business records live in your email. So when you're sending them out, if you're not sending out attachments, you're sending links, you're not putting business records in the other people's email. You want to do the same thing with incoming email. If they are sending you attachments, save those up to your hard drive and delete the email so that you don't have business records living in your email. Or if you need to save the email, save the document up to the hard drive and then delete it from the email. And number 8, and probably the most important tip I can give you, become friends with the delete button. Seriously, the delete button is your best friend when it comes to saving money in litigation and not having that smoking gun sitting in your inbox. Learn where it is on your computer and start using it liberally. I know a lot of people are afraid to hit the delete button. Your deleted email goes into a deleted folder. If you accidentally hit the delete button, you can go back and retrieve it. But then with your deleted folder, make sure you're emptying that on a regular basis. If not daily, which you can set up on your computer to happen automatically, then at least weekly or monthly, delete all those extra emails out of your deleted folders item. So that's it for Let's Talk Legal today. I hope you found some of this useful. And tune in next week when we'll have a new topic relevant to your business. Bye.